Okay, I call to order the Finance and Administration Committee meeting. To my right, we have Commissioner Ben Olszewski. To my left, Commissioner Damon Mullen, Township Manager Pat Stasio, and Director of Finance John Bates. And to my right, our Solicitor Brianna Bryant. No presentations or announcements, right? Are there any comments regarding the minutes?
None from me.
None for me.
Community? Okay, we'll move them into the record. Next, acceptance and approval of the following monthly reports: Director of Finance, Tax Enforcement Officers, and Investment Activity Report. So let's go to them. John, anything to add?
Nothing that's already in front of you. I think I had mentioned prior meeting, we saw a large influx in the business tax revenue, as we've seen that was due. Those returns were due in May. So if you're comparing this year to this month to last month, you'll see that big increase. We're looking at about $1.1 million as a result of all those returns that were filed on time. So we'll still track down all the other ones. We've been doing a good job of that in the meantime, but other than that, nothing else to report. We'll have bigger, as you know, we'll have the Q2 reports with the more detailed quarterly reports at next month's meeting.
Okay, sounds good. Any questions or comments?
No questions.
Okay, they're accepted into the record. Next, review of revenue and expense summaries. As you noted, next month will be the end of a quarter. I didn't see anything unusual or large, unexpected?
No.
Nope. Okay, great. Move that into the record. Next, personnel. We have reappointment of Jennifer Mullen for the Advisory Planning Agency. Also Fred Standard for the Advisory Planning Agency. Also a reappointment, Christian Henderson for the Advisory Planning Agency. And one more reappointment, James Farrell on the Police Pension Fund Committee.
The only change is Ward 4. Jennifer's Ward 4, not Ward 1.
Oh, okay, thank you.
didn't make
Yeah,
the
I didn't mention, okay. You got that one? No, instead of Ward 1, Ward 4. Thank you. So thank them all for being willing to continue to serve. Any comments from commissioners or community?
No, just thank you for your time. It's really important to the township that we get volunteers for positions like these.
Absolutely. Okay. Next is a new appointment, E.G. Nichols on the Human Relations Commission. I don't think she's here this evening, so she's interested in serving, and I recommend we move her forward.
I approve. I'm okay with that.
Commissioners or community, any comments? Okay. Next is one more new appointment, Barbara Tuck for the Parks and Recreation Advisory Council for the Ward 1 vacancy. Barbara is here tonight. Thank you for being here. She served, Commissioner Skull?
Oh, you can say it too. What were you going to say?
I was going to say she was on the Woodlawn Park Steering Committee.
That's true.
And you approached her to see if she wanted to serve on this
Yeah,
permanently.
And we lived on the same block for probably almost 30 years. So, she knows about Woodlawn and she knows the neighborhood.
Great. Thank you, Barbara. Okay. We'll move this one forward to the board also. Next is we have some vacancies on township committees. If you're interested, please send a letter of interest or an email to our township manager, Pat Stasio, so pstasio@uppermoreland.org. And the vacancies are Advisory Planning Agency from a Ward 3 resident, a few vacancies on the Historical Commission, another vacancy on the Parks and Recreation Advisory Council, resident from Ward 2, another on Parks and Recreation Advisory Council. It's an at-large, so from any ward in the township. And finally, on the Transportation Impact Advisory Committee. Next, other items, we have amend ordinance number 1744, which is our single-use plastic bag ban. This is based on a call that our township manager took. Do you want to give a quick summary?
Certainly. Received a call from a business in Upmoreland Township commenting that the cost of the recyclable paper bags, which is mandated in an ordinance at 10 cents, is driving some of his customers away, or their customers away, and they're going to Warminster to purchase their wares. He had direct communication with a number of people that visit the store, and this seems to be their number one reason, according to him, and it's costing significant amount of loss in revenue for the grocer. He asked if there was something we could take a look at in this ordinance to change it. They are willing to pay for the plastic bag, the grocer is, at their own expense, and they would like to give it away for free. So that was his request, hence it's on this committee.
Okay, so to reiterate, they don't have a problem with the plastic bag ban, they just don't want to charge their customers for the paper bag.
That is correct. The plastic bag ban is fine, but when they do offer a paper bag, when someone wants a paper bag, they must charge 10 cents. That's uniform
Currently.
cost in Upper Moreland
Okay.
Township. It's a recyclable paper bag, too.
Yeah, so that's part of the ordinance because the best option is for someone to use a reusable bag, not a brand-new bag each time they go. It's unfortunate we don't have a law in the state like there is in New Jersey, but we don't. And so I guess any other comments?
So this means they wouldn't have to charge for the bag.
The proposal would be to, there's two options here. One is to change the ordinance to say instead of a mandated fee of 10 cents, we could change the ordinance to say up to a fee of 10 cents. So if the business wanted to give the bag away for free as part of the purchase, they could, or they can charge up to 10 cents.
Right.
The other option is that the ordinance does allow for a special exemption. So if an organization claims a hardship, we could waive that 10-cent fee. The difficulty there would be if numerous companies come to us and say, we want to do this. We might have to, issue a dozen, 2 dozen, 100 special exemptions. So it's the board's pleasure if they want to do anything, or do they want to amend the ordinance slightly, or do they want to take these one-by-one cases and issue a special exemption? I should note that the ordinance does not prevent a grocer or a company from giving away recyclable plastic bags, the blue plastic bags that are similar to the brown plastic bags that we're all used to. But they are very expensive, from what I understand, as compared to a brown paper bag.
Okay.
In the 10 cents, the companies keep it. They're not giving it back to the township at all.
All that revenue is kept by the company, yes, but the argument in this gentleman's case is that he's losing customers because of the 10 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I'll take his word for it on that, and I don't want to have him losing customers. I think I like the idea of the special exemption since this is really the first one that we've had. So I think my preference would be to not change the ordinance at this time. Commissioner
Sorry, I'm okay with this, especially if it keeps business in Upper Moreland Township, because, one person may have came to us, but we don't know how many it's really affecting.
So your preference is to actually change the ordinance instead of special exemption? Commissioner Skull?
Oh, not so fast. Well, this isn't happening at Giant, as far as I know.
It's not, I'm sorry.
Not happening at Giant over here. They're not having business problems because of the bag.
Right, we've only had this one request.
I guess the only difference would be that this grocery store is on the border of Upper Moreland and Warminster, whereas Giant, I think, is downtown, but it is on the border of Abington, or close to Abington. This gentleman is stating that his customers are telling him he's going to a grocery store just up the road in Warminster because of the 10 cent per bag.
So, go ahead.
Well, then, where does the 10 cents go to anyway? Doesn't go to
The
us.
store, right, the store keeps it. They charge it. So they're going to eat that cost. They'd prefer to do that because of losing customers. And I did try to contact Warminster. I did send an email to one of the commissioners, but didn't hear back. So that's another reason I think I'd like to do the special exemption, because hopefully Warminster will consider a plastic bag ban soon.
Yeah, well, maybe the whole 10 cent thing was not necessary. I mean, we're not getting, you know,
We're not. It was to encourage people to use a reusable bag.
I understand.
Yeah.
And also to help the retailer pay for the paper bags, which are more expensive than plastic bags, right? But maybe, yeah, maybe that doesn't have to be in the ordinance.
That's why Pat's recommending to modify the wording to say, pretty much say, if you want to charge 10 cents, you
Right.
can. If you want to charge 1 cent, you can charge 0 cents. So that's,
Yeah.
it's giving us the
I like
flexibility,
that idea.
put more power in the hands of the company to make that decision.
I like that.
You like that better than a special exemption?
I guess, if I can add a comment, I guess the only argument could be made that a different grocer doesn't want to absorb the 10 cents. So their argument could be, well, I have to charge the 10 cents because I'm a small business and I can't make up the money.
Can't afford it.
So you could have some comments coming the other way, perhaps.
Are there any other comments?
I'm just saying, we don't lose any money.
We do not.
And they can charge for the bags if they want to. You know, I like the idea of changing it that it's optional.
Okay.
The bag doesn't have to be free, but it can be if they so
Right.
choose.
Right.
I think a lot more people then will just pay the 10 cents for a bag and keep using new bags and not get in the habit of bringing a reusable bag to the grocery store.
Yeah, the whole point of charging for the bags was to help the store offset costs, but also to encourage people to start bringing their own bags. I know in the vast majority of other townships where these, the same laws have been passed, it did encourage people to start bringing their own bags. And most of the stores sell reusable bags. And so, a person could buy one right there at the checkout. But they found that in general, if there's no charge for the bags, then people just keep doing what they've been doing and they don't change their behavior. So in order to change behavior, there has to be a charge. Sorry to hear that in this one case, it's not doing what it should, but as Cheryl mentioned, hopefully Warminster will jump on the bandwagon and pass a plastic bag ban so it becomes a moot point. But, I guess I'd be more for the exemption.
Okay, so I think there is a consensus that we want to do something. So we'll move it forward for the board, full board to consider. Yes. Thank you. Next, no old business, no new business. Any community comments? Commissioner comments? We're adjourned. Thank you.